Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tali's Kitchen. And today we're going to be learning how to make beef matoke. Now, this turned out absolutely scrumptious. Look at how fantastic that looks, and it tastes just as beautiful as it looks. Now, matoke is a really simple meal to put together. It's really wholesome. You only need one pot to prepare this. You don't need an accompaniment for this per se. So it's really easy to put together, and I'd love to show you how to make the best beef matoke, because this was just amazing. One of my mom's favorite meals. So I can't wait to show you how to get this done. So let's jump straight into it. So I'm going to be starting here by adding my oil onto my pan. Now I'm heating this over medium heat, and once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to go ahead and add in one large chopped onion. Then we're just going to cook this for a while until they're nice and golden brown. I do prefer to have my onions golden brown, but if you like to have them translucent, that's still okay. So I'm just going to give this a few minutes, and then we'll add in the rest of our ingredients. So once they begin to turn golden brown, I'm going to go ahead and add in some chopped green peppers, and then I'm also going to be adding here some green chilies as well. And then I'm just going to cook this as the onions continue to caramelize. Now next up here, I'm going to be adding my spices, and I'm doing here 1 tablespoon of curry powder. For this specific meal, I'm really going to minimize the amount of spices I'm going to put, and you're only going to be working with 2. That is the curry powder, and then lastly here, I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, and then we're just going to cook this until it's nicely cooked. But you don't want to burn your spices, so just make sure you're adding this right before you add in your tomatoes, because it's also really important for the spices to cook in the oil as well. But if you leave them on there too much, then they're going to burn, and then your food is going to have some really weird taste. So just leave it there for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then go ahead and add in your crushed tomatoes. So today here I'm going to be doing just 2 large crushed tomatoes, because I'm not doing a lot of bananas. But if you're doing a lot of bananas, then just measure this to the amount of bananas you're going to be doing. I'm also adding here 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, and then I'm just going to use my spoon here to mix everything to combine nicely, and then I'm going to let this come to a simmer. Now once everything has come to a simmer like so, I remembered I had forgotten to add in my ginger garlic paste, but it's never too late. Okay, it's too late if the food is almost ready, but at this point it's not too late. So I've added here 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, and I'm just going to let this incorporate beautifully with the rest of the ingredients here. I'll let it simmer for about 1 to 2 minutes before I continue now with the rest of the steps. So once it started to begin to simmer like so, I'm going to add here my beef. So this is beef that I had already boiled prior to this, so make sure you boil your beef so that it's nice and soft before you add it into your pot. So I'm doing here 250 grams of boiled beef, and I'm just going to add all of it into my pan, and then we'll mix everything to combine nicely. Now you will always know your tomatoes are well cooked when the oil begins to separate from the tomatoes like so. So our tomatoes in this case are fully cooked, and that's perfect. So once you've added in all your pieces of meat, go ahead and use your spoon to just mix everything to combine, and then we'll let it simmer for just about 30 seconds to 1 minute, so that the ingredients can really infuse nicely with the beef before we add in our bananas. Once everything is nicely mixed together like so, go ahead and add in your bananas. I'm using here approximately almost 20 bananas, but they were really small in size, so do gauge the size of your bananas because you can see I didn't even have to cut them into smaller pieces because it was good enough. So I'm also going to be adding here 3 beef cubes. Alternatively, if you don't have beef cubes, go ahead and just add in some salt to taste. Now I'm not sure why I didn't manage to capture me adding the beef broth into my pot here, but the same water that I used to boil the beef is what I've added here right now, and I'm just going to let it come to a boil like so. You can increase the amount of water to slightly cover the bananas so that so that they can fully cook and become soft enough. And then once they're soft, go ahead and add in some coriander leaves, and then we're just going to let this simmer for about 3 more minutes, and then we're good. Your bananas are ready. Wasn't that easy? Wasn't that simple? Wasn't that fantastic? Yes, it was. So you're basically done here. You have yourself a full meal that you can have immediately. And bananas are best had hot. Cold bananas are not as nice. So this is basically ready, and I'm going to go ahead and serve this. Now I hope you really enjoyed this super easy and super simple recipe, and I do hope you will try it out because you will not regret it. It turned out absolutely incredible. You can see how fantastic that looks. Looking at it makes me feel like I want to jump back into the kitchen and have another bite. So do consider sharing, liking, and subscribing if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, and I will see you all next time with yet another fantastic video. For now, bye bye.